feeling maybe a bit stuck trying to grow your social media.
It happens to everyone, I think, that initial climb.
Totally. Well, you've shared some really great info with us, all focused on getting those first 1,000 followers without spending on ads. So we're going to dive deep into these strategies.
Yeah, pull out the most effective nuggets, right?
Exactly. Think of this as your shortcut to figuring out how to build a real engaged audience. And actually, speaking of boosting your presence, have you checked out rapidboost.net? It's a resource a lot of people use to give their social profiles a bit of a lift.
Oh, interesting. Good to know about different tools.
Yeah. But okay, let's unpack this guide you shared. Our mission today: understand the core principles, the actionable steps to get those first crucial followers organically.
Right. And it's interesting, isn't it, how often the first thought is just, throw money at ads.
Hmm.
This guide really pushes back on that. It makes you think about the lasting power of building something organically.
From the ground up.
Yeah. It's more than just hitting a number. It's about the quality of that base you're building.
Absolutely. And the guide makes such a strong case for these no-cost ways. It's all about building real connections, isn't it? Establishing trust, getting that loyal community.
It really is. This isn't just about a quick spike in numbers that disappears tomorrow.
Right. It's building something that lasts.
And that genuine connection, the algorithms notice that too. Platforms are increasingly rewarding content that sparks real interaction.
Ah, okay. So it's not just feel good, it's strategic.
Exactly. By focusing on organic methods, you're kind of future-proofing your strategy, aligning with how these platforms are evolving. It's just more sustainable in the long run.
It's like learning to cook instead of always getting takeout, you know?
Huh, yeah.
You actually understand the ingredients, the process. The guide even says growing without those paid shortcuts makes each follower feel, well, more valuable, and it sharpens your skills.
That's a fantastic analogy, yeah.
Mhm.
When you actively work for each follower, you get such a deeper understanding of what really clicks with them, which naturally leads us to the first big pillar in the guide, defining your niche and brand.
Okay, let's dig into this. The guide really hammers home finding a micro niche, like super specific.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of just fitness tips, it's like injury prevention for beginner runners. Why is that level of focus so important right at the start?
Well, think about it. That sharpness, that focus, it lets you connect with an audience that has a very, very specific problem or interest.
Okay.
Imagine someone actually searching for injury prevention for beginner runners. If your whole profile screams, I help with that, they're way more likely to follow and, more importantly, engage. It's pure relevance.
That totally clicks.
Yeah.
Become the go-to for a smaller but really interested group first.
Exactly.
So the guide then talks about optimizing your profile, calls it your elevator pitch. What are the must-haves there for that first impression?
Okay, so number one, a clear photo. Either your face, easily recognizable, or a distinct logo.
Right.
Then, the bio. It needs to instantly say what you offer and who you help. No vague stuff.
Get straight to the point.
Yeah. And, crucially, a clear call to action. Like, DM me for resources, or click the link for my guide. Tell them what to do next. Make it super obvious.
It's making it crystal clear, like within seconds, what you're about and how you can solve their problem. The guide mentions, Jenna Kutcher here, focusing on real talk entrepreneurship.
That's such a great case study. By being super consistent with that specific theme, keeping her profile aligned,
Yeah.
she grew massively, organically, got brand deals, all without running ads.
Wow.
It just shows the power of clarity and, well, sticking with it.
And it's not just the what you do, but the why. The guide brings up Simon Sinek's work here. How does sharing your motivation help build that initial crowd?
Well, think about why we connect with certain people or brands. Often it's shared values, right? Or a story that resonates. Sharing your why, those behind-the-scenes moments, your origin story. It humanizes your brand, creates an emotional hook, makes people curious, more invested in following your journey.
Okay, so niche defined, profile polished. Now, the actual stuff we post, the guide says quality over quantity, but with strategic volume. What kind of content gets shared and saved? Because that's what the algorithm likes now, right? Saves and shares.
Yes, exactly. It's shifted. Saves and shares are increasingly important signals. So the guide points to things like carousels, the ones with secrets or step-by-step guide.
Oh yeah, like 5 ways to...
Those. Also, personal stories, but with clear, actionable lessons. Original memes, if they fit your brand. And surprisingly, maybe infographics with data. Statistical content gets shared a lot.
Interesting. So it's about creating stuff that doesn't just entertain, but offers real value people want to revisit or pass on.
Precisely. Design it thinking about saves and shares.
And the guide also mentions, like, subtly prompting action within the post itself.
Yeah, simple things. Asking direct questions at the end. What's your biggest challenge with X right now? Or tag someone who needs this. It really boosts engagement.
Makes sense. Gets the conversation going.
And don't forget user-generated content, featuring testimonials, success stories from your followers. Tag them. That expands your reach massively.
Yeah, social proof. People trust other users. Plus, tagging them gets their network looking. Okay, now, engaging outward. The guide talks about the critical first hour after posting. Why is that window so vital?
Right. This is about how algorithms often gauge a post's potential.
Yeah.
They look at that initial burst of activity.
Like, is this thing popular?
Pretty much. So replying to comments and DMs really quickly in that first hour tells the platform, hey, this post is sparking conversation. The creator is engaged. That can give it a real visibility boost.
Okay, be ready when you post. The guide even mentions Gary Vaynerchuk's $1.80 strategy, leaving, 90 thoughtful comments a day? That sounds intense.
It is a commitment, no doubt. But the core idea isn't just commenting. It's about becoming a known, valuable member of your niche community.
Ah, okay. Not just great post.
Definitely not. It's about adding genuine insight, becoming recognizable in those relevant conversations. It builds credibility.
And it's not just random commenting, is it? The guide stresses finding those specific niche communities, like focus groups or hashtags where your ideal audience hangs out.
Exactly. Better to focus your energy in, say, 3 or 4 key places where you know your target audience is active, rather than spraying comments everywhere. Build deeper connections there. Think, like Twitter Spaces, specific LinkedIn hashtag conversations.
Makes sense. Quality over quantity again. What about growth partners and these mini engagement pods the guide mentions? How does collaborating help get to 1K?
Collaboration is huge. It's all about mutual benefit. Partnering with other creators, ones at a similar stage, maybe with an audience that overlaps but doesn't directly compete.
Like that health coach and recipe blogger example.
Perfect example. You introduce your stuff to their audience, they introduce theirs to yours. Cross-promotion. It's a smart way to expand your reach beyond just your own efforts.
Okay, reaching out. Now, what about the people we already know? The guide says tap your existing network.
Absolutely. Don't underestimate this. Friends, family, colleagues. Let them know what you're doing. Invite them to follow, maybe share a key post.
Right.
And make sure your social links are everywhere. Email signature, website footer, other profiles. Make it easy for people who already like you to support you.
Good point. Leverage what you've already got. And giveaways. Everyone loves free stuff, but the guide has some specific tips for making them actually work for growth, right? Not just attract freebie hunters.
Yes, this is critical. The prize needs to attract your ideal follower. So instead of a generic Amazon card, offer something related to your niche, a free consulting call, your ebook, a specific tool.
Something only your target audience would really want.
Exactly. And the entry rules should encourage real engagement. Following, sure, but maybe also tagging relevant friends or sharing the post with a comment about why they want to win. Genuine interactions.
Smart. Okay, and then there's jumping on trends, using new features, doing challenges. The guide says being an early adopter helps.
Often, yes. Platforms want people to use their new shiny features, right? So they often give content using those features, like early Instagram Reels users, a bit of an algorithmic boost.
Ah, so playing with the new toys can get you seen more.
It can definitely increase reach and potentially speed up growth. That Hootsuite report mentioned in the guide backs this up, seeing like 20–30% faster growth sometimes.
Worth experimenting then. Okay, let's get analytical. Timing, hashtags, keywords. How crucial is this stuff?
It's definitely part of the puzzle. Your own analytics are always the best guide for when your specific audience is online, but the guide gives some general peak times for major platforms as a starting point.
And hashtags. Is it still about stuffing as many as possible?
No, much more strategic now. The advice is usually a mix. Maybe 3 to 5 really niche-specific ones, low to medium competition, then 1 or 2 for your personal brand, and maybe 1 or 2 broader, relevant, trending ones.
A balanced portfolio.
Kind of, yeah. And don't forget keywords, especially on platforms like LinkedIn or Twitter. Use relevant terms in your actual profile description and in your posts. That helps with searchability.
So being findable and using all the different features, stories, reels, carousels.
Absolutely. Don't just stick to one format. Different people engage with different types of content. Plus, as we said, platforms like it when you use their full suite of tools. Mix it up.
Okay, final pillar. This seems really important. Analyzing, iterating, learning what works. What should we be tracking, especially early on?
Yeah, you can't just post and hope. Look beyond just follower count. How's your engagement rate? Are people actually interacting?
Right, follower quality.
Exactly. Are they the right followers? Also, track reach and especially saves per post type. Which formats are resonating most? Which topics? Review this stuff maybe after your first 10, 15 posts.
And be willing to test things out, like A/B testing different headlines or visuals.
Definitely. Try a video versus a graphic covering the same topic. See what performs better. Use the platform analytics or tools like that rapidboost.net you mentioned might offer deeper insights too.
And if a strategy just isn't working, even after tweaking.
Be willing to pivot. That adaptability is key. The online world changes fast. If something's not yielding results, don't be afraid to adjust your approach or try something completely new based on what you're learning.
That makes a lot of sense. It's an ongoing process. The guide wraps this all up nicely with a sort of roadmap, doesn't it?
Yeah, a summary of the actionable steps. Research niche, optimize profile, batch, create maybe 10 posts, commit to posting consistently at good times, engage daily, find growth partners, track metrics weekly, adjust.
It really lays it out. So wrapping up this deep dive, the core ideas seem pretty clear, right? Focus your niche.
Create genuinely valuable, shareable content.
Engage authentically, don't just broadcast.
Leverage your network and collaborations.
Optimize your timing, your hashtags, your features.
And always be analyzing and iterating, learning.
Exactly. It drives home that getting those first 1,000 followers isn't really about luck or having a big ad budget. It's about, well, consistent strategic effort over time.
That's the key takeaway, consistency and strategy.
So for you listening, maybe think about which one of these strategies really jumped out at you. What's one small, consistent thing you could start doing, like today? What does building that magnetic presence, that trust, really look like in your specific corner of the world? Something to chew on.